you're in your 20s or you're about to be in your 20s, this video is for you. That wakes my soul up. That's the thing about being an adult now. You cannot go anywhere without one of these. So kids, you've got something great to look forward to. Coffee addiction. Not that I encourage that, but I am 100% addicted to caffeine, and we need to establish that right now. Good morning, guys. I have my little microphone because today we are going to be talking about our 20s. Terrifying, I know. I feel like the only people that make these kinds of videos are people like me, who are having an existential crisis at the raw age of 24, but also people who are in their 30s and they're looking back on their 20s being like, yeah, that was hard. Good luck. Oh, you'll lose all your friends, but you'll be fine. Like, what do you mean? And I'll talk on that a little bit later. I have a lot to say about losing friends. But I do know a thing or two about your early 20s and why they fucking suck. So I'm going to give you guys some tips and tricks, as well as just talk about your 20s, what to kind of expect if you are younger. And it might sound bad, but it's not. It's actually really, really fun. I love being in my 20s. It's really, really cool. What the is going on? I'd just like to ask that question straight up. What is going on? I've been an adult now for almost 5 years and I've got no clue. What am I doing? What am I doing tomorrow? I literally have no idea. I feel like my posture is really bad in this too, but we are not going to be talking about that. We're not talking about that. We're talking about my 20s, not my back problems in my 30s. Okay. I've seen a lot of 30-year-olds when they're talking about their 20s, they talk about how it's a period of self-discovery and learning from your mistakes and losing friends and gaining friends. Like, what the fuck is going on? Apparently there's a statistic out there, I don't know what it is, but I've heard it on the grapevine, but we go through a second puberty, which is around the 20-21 mark. And I agree, because 24-year-old me and 19-year-old me are two different people with two different mindsets. They are not the same Shelly. I'm learning things every single day. I've learned things every single day since I turned 20. There was just a switch in my head that flipped on as soon as I turned 20 and was like, yep, I'm so wise now. I am learning stuff from a different perspective. With the younger people that I talk to at work and my friends, and also you guys, a lot of you guys watching are probably a lot younger than what I am. And that's fine, because you're going to learn a lot today. I get DMs from my younger peers and followers just asking me really silly kind of high school questions like, oh my god, how do I know if he likes me? Or my friend Elizabeth has been a bitch. Like, what do I do about her? And it's just like, the answer is so obvious, but you've got what I like to call teenage lenses on. Like rose-colored glasses, but like teenage-colored glasses. And it's just, the answer is not obvious at all. But as soon as you turn 20, the answer is right in front of you and you're like, oh, why was I so dumb? But you don't learn unless you have those dumb moments. So go and be dumb. Movies have set a really terrible expectation on your 20s because people think your 20s are so luxurious. They're so fun. You know, you're out partying. You've got all the friends in the world. You've got a massive social group. You know, you're having the best relationships. You know, being in your 20s is so rad, so cool. But in reality, that is not the case. In reality, there is probably thousands of dollars of debt behind those fancy cars. I feel like growing up is realizing that a lot of adults are in debt to be happy. Like mortgages, loans for cars, loans for holidays. People are getting loans to have a wedding, and like student debts. I feel like I've never felt so alone in my 20s. I have a great support group. I have a great circle of friends, family. I have an amazing boyfriend, my birds. But I feel lonely. You have to be independent in your 20s. And I think that's the massive learning curve of it, because in your teenage years, you're very dependent on a lot of people for money, for friends, for social interactions, for getting from A to B. As an adult, like, you have to do that all yourself. You gotta make your own money. You gotta make your own social group. You've gotta get from A to B yourself. Like, it's very independent and very scary. But I love it. I love the freedom of just being able to get in my car, go down the shops, eat a donut if I want to. There's a lot of physical health problems now. If I do not eat my vegetables, I will hear about it. Within a week, my body will be like deteriorating. The 20s are also a really weird time because your friends are having families. It's scary because it's like, should I be having kids? I don't even like kids. What if I need to have kids right now? And then some people are getting married and you start to spiral and you go, oh my, am I supposed to get married too? A lot of people are staying at home. And that's completely fine as well. Like, have you seen the housing market? I don't know how people are affording homes at this raw age. Like, where are you getting the money? Am I missing out on something? Your 20s just gives you an overwhelming sense of what the is going on. What am I doing in 5 years? What am I doing tomorrow? What am I going to do in 5 hours? I literally have no idea. And it's just so overwhelming. It brings many breakdowns. It brings many mental strains. Like, mentally damaged, here I am. Even though I'm still a baby when it comes to the adulting world. But I want to give you guys some advice that I've learned so far as being in my 20s, because it's been hard. It's been daunting, scary, and I just wanted to give you guys some advice. Do you have something to say? No, that's fine. I want to start off this segment to say there is no time frame with anything here. You can have a family whenever you want. You tell them, Charlie. Like, global warming, we don't even know if we're going to be here in 30 years. But if we are, you can adopt. There's IVF, there's freezing your eggs, all that kind of stuff. Like, there's no time frame on having kids. And that family doesn't even have to involve kids. That family could just be you, your partner, and your pets. There's no time frame on going to university. When I was in my interior design course, there was a guy in there. He was 50 and he'd lived out his whole entire career, his whole entire life up until 50 doing something that he didn't really enjoy. Okay, bye. You know, he decided, you know what, I'm gonna go and do the course that I've always wanted to do, interior design. And he loved it and he finished it. I obviously dropped out, but he finished it and, you know, now he's designing commercial areas and he loves it so, so much. And I think that's so inspirational. I think about that story all the time because you can go to university at any point in your life. You can go tomorrow. You can go in 10 years, 20 years. Like, you do not have to go to university right after school, which means you don't have to know what you want to do right after school. There's so many opportunities out there, and I feel like that there's just not one certain thing for us to do for the rest of our lives. Like, when I was a kid, I wanted to be a vet nurse. There's no way in hell that I would be a vet nurse at this point in time. I am queasy at the sight of blood. I can't do a vomit. I just would not be a good vet nurse. I wanted to be an actress. You know, I wanted to be an actress. I wanted to be in the movies, especially horror movies. I loved them. Never got around to it. Never did it. Leaving school, I wanted to be an interior designer. I loved it, and I still do. I love interior design. I think it's so cool. You know, dipped my feet into YouTube, and I love YouTube, and I really hope this does become a career for me. There could be so many passions out there for you. You've got no idea. Like, they just keep coming to you, all the different ideas. There's no set time, and you do not have to rush any of that. Not at all. Don't compare your progress to someone's end result. I think that is one of the biggest life lessons that I have learned and am still learning, obviously, as somebody who desperately wants to be a YouTuber, because we see a lot of people's end results and we think, what am I doing wrong? Like, where is my end result? Why am I not there? Matter of fact, we haven't seen their hardships, their tears, their sweat that they've put into their work to get to where they are. You don't see what someone's going through. You only see the end result and you think, oh, why was that so easy for them? But you literally have no idea what they went through to get there. So some people are lucky, yes, but it's a very, very, very small amount of people. It's always something good to remember. Learning to love yourself is so important, and I didn't think that it was when I was a teenager, and I was also very insecure. Self-love isn't something that we gain once we become a certain age or have a certain achievement accomplished. Like, self-love is something that you gain because you want to learn from your mistakes, you want to accept yourself, and you want to become a better person. You want to start eating better, you want to start moving your body, which is also very important when you're in your 20s. And there's no final result for self-love as well. It's something that you keep learning over and over and over again because you're constantly growing, you're constantly learning new things, you're constantly becoming different people each decade. Like, I'm definitely not the same person I was when I was 10. It's constant growth and it's amazing. And learning to love yourself, accept yourself, all your flaws, learn from your mistakes, make sure that you're not constantly kicking yourself down. Like, I think that self-love is so important and it's definitely something that I want to talk about further. So if you guys would like an actual massive video on self-love, let me know because I've got a lot of tips and tricks and things to say about it. If you love something so much, but you're fixating too much on the past, then you will not have the energy for the present and the future because you're too busy on the past. So you need to let that go. Find what you can learn from the past and then bring it with you in the future and the present. Bam, off you go. Kick your goals. I'm going to end on this topic because I feel like I'm very passionate about this and it's friendships. And I really want to do another video on this because I feel like friendships are something that I have a lot to talk about, because I've had my fair share of shitty ones. I've had my fair share of good ones that are no longer in my life. Friendships are a massive learning curve in your 20s, because not only do you gain some really cool people that you would have never thought would be in your life, but you also lose a lot of people that you thought would be there for you forever. It's completely normal. I'm still learning this to this day because it's such a big learning curve, and it's quite a shock to the system, because you go into a relationship, right, kind of expecting it to either last forever or end. Like, that's the expectation you have in a relationship. But when you enter a friendship, you kind of think, oh, this person's going to be around forever, right? Through thick and thin. We don't expect friendships to end at all, but they do. And it's completely normal, and it really, really sucks. I went through a massive friendship breakup within the last 2 years, and it really, really sucked. But it was a massive learning curve, and it just took me a very long time to overcome it, because I so badly wanted that friend to be in my life for a very long time, but obviously it just wasn't working. It wasn't supposed to happen, and it was very obvious. We're just obviously not supposed to be friends right now. We might be in the future, we might not be, and that's fine. You may want people to stay longer than they're supposed to, but they can't, and it's for a lot of reasons. You know, life happens, things get in the way, people move, people get busy jobs, blah blah blah. Or you might just not connect anymore, and that's fine. People are constantly growing, and you might be outgrowing them, they might be outgrowing you. Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you have to be happy with yourself. You have to be your friend. You have to be the one to pick yourself up. Like, you can't rely too much on other people. I don't know if this video made any sense. I don't know if it was helpful at all in the slightest, but at least you got to sit here and watch me talk for probably 15 minutes. I don't know how long this video is going to be for, but I'm so sorry in advance. And if you guys are in your 20s, if you guys are about to be in your 20s, or you've just left your 20s and now entering your 30s, let me know down below. Anything you've learnt, any questions you have, any experiences that have really been eye-opening to you, like, let me know down below. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Thank you so much, and I will see you guys in my next video on Sunday. So